In today's lesson, we're going to talk about how to answer and overcome objections before they even come up. Okay, so before, those annoying objections, people ask you, I don't have any money, or I don't like to sell, or I don't have much time. How do you get rid of those objections? Okay, so one of the ways to do this, I'm going to give you two ways. One is in sharing, when you're doing a presentation, or especially your story, when you're sharing about what you're doing, answers to those objections in the story. Right. So for example, if you are a stay-at-home mom, you can talk about how, hey, you didn't think you had much time to do this, but you focused on the DMO. By the way, you don't have the DMO cheat sheet. You can go to MLMNation.com, free download of the list of income-producing activities you need to do. And you can talk about, hey, in my spare time, just take like 30 minutes, an hour here, doing the baby naps, I was able to build my business. Right, and that's why I do what I do. When you're sharing, so think of the objections and you share it when you share your story of why you do what you do. Okay. Another way to do, so that's number one. When you're sharing your story, when people ask you, why are you doing this? Or what is it about? Share about, what you do and why you're doing it and how you're able to do that. Number two is in your presentations, you could answer those objections by sharing testimonials. In fact, every testimonial should answer an objection. All right, so when I did presentations, for example, I was presenting to a very young crowd and they didn't have much money. They were still living at home with their parents. And one of the testimonials I had was a leader that shared how he didn't have any money to get started, but he was able to sell his old video games that he didn't play on eBay, got the money, and then was able to get started. Okay. That's an example. Another person was about the product, how the product didn't, especially with this product for a specific age group, didn't have the effects right away. But he talked about how to help them in different areas in life, right? Help them out with workouts. They didn't really need it in normal day life, but help them with the exercises and the friends who worked out into the gym. How you got a lot of customers there. Right? That overcome another objection. I don't have any friends, or none of my friends would be interested. Hey, you go to the gym, you can actually have a lot of people that would be interested in a product, right? So answer your objections in the presentation helps out a lot. So another thing I did was when I used to speak at home meetings or even Zoom presentations, webinars, right? I'll know who the crowd is, and the story I use will be related to that crowd. So for example, if it's I knew like a young couple that was looking to have money. I didn't have money. They want to get money for a wedding, right? They're about to have a big wedding celebration. I'll share stories of how, about my wedding, and also stories of other people who are around our age who were able to save our money from the money they made in our business to pay for that wedding, right? So answer those objections in the presentation. Now, the third type of way to do it, and this is important, is this: every prospect has three doubts, right? Is this for real? Can I do this? And will you help me? Those are the three major doubts that always go to mind. Is this for real? Can I do this? Will you help me? So one of the ways to really get people to respect you, answer those objections, is through the social media, right? If you stay in social media, you're constantly providing content, teaching, letting people you're in the business, they will believe that, hey, this is for real. Right? This is for real. And by the way, when you're posting on social media, it doesn't need to just be your story. Collect the stories from people in your company, right? It doesn't need to be a big mistake that people make is not in my downline, so I can't share that story. Yeah, you can share that story from anyone, right? You can just say, you didn't even need to mention the team. I'm just proud to be working in the same company as this person. And sharing those stories will help you overcome those objections. So think about the major objections you're getting, whether it's no money, no time, I can't sell. Find someone who also faced those things and made it happen in your company. Share those stories. In fact, the more stories you share, the better it is. And also make sure on social media, you're sharing the stuff you learn, your commitment. I always talk about people by your change, your commitment, and your consistency. How have you changed? How are you committed? How are you consistent, right? Share that. Whether you're watching this training or you're teaching something or you're reading a book, let people know that, because when people see that, again, the three doubts. Is this for real? Can I do this? Will you help me? By the way, those are those three doubts. Every objection falls into that, right? If you're talking about MLM objection pyramid, that falls into is this for real, right? Can I make money doing this? Is this for real? Can I do this? It's like, I can't sell. I don't have many contacts, right? I don't have time. Or will you help me? It's like, I don't know anything. How can you help me? So when you're posting consistently, helping, providing value on social media, that answers a lot of those objections. Because ultimately, I think you all know, people are buying you. So anyway, those are ways, before the objections even come up, you can answer that. I kind of call it pre-marketing, right? Answering your stories, using your testimonials, your presentations, and most importantly, answer in your social media, because people are always watching you, they're buying you, and they're buying your change, commitment, and consistency. So that's how you answer objections before they even come up.